By first light today, this 8,000-ton ship looked like a toy, yet she was by now already a grave. Almost flat underneath, whatever happened to her last night, once destabilized, few were surprised she capsized so fast. Useless lifeboats are still perfectly in place along her side. Most of the 400 who escaped clambered out of openings in the ship and up onto the painted white letters of Townsend, Thoresen on the side. Thereafter, divers tried endlessly to find the rest inside the hull.
There was a lot of activity around the ship, but about a dozen people on board, I suppose, and a lot of bodies on deck. And we started to do a search of the lounge area, which was the most accessible area, but that was mostly flooded, and so we didn't find anyone alive there.
And later on in the night, we had a lot of divers on board going inside the ship itself to cover the areas that were missed by the initial search. And at the end of my time on board, I would say that the majority, if not 100%, of the free area above the water was actually searched, apart from the engine room, which was inaccessible. So at the end of my search, chances of survival are nil.
This huge and spontaneous international rescue effort had achieved miracles last night, with Kentish firemen, Dutch divers and Belgian troops working alongside each other as if by second nature. These French airport firefighters were working alongside British divers with American assistance. The mounting death toll, though, as new dead were brought ashore, was received as almost a personal defeat for each of the rescuers. At sea, in search of why the tragedy had happened, we found the ship 1,300 yards from the harbour walls. Prominent, the gaping, now doorless entrance in her bows, known to have played a critical role in her downfall. But local fisherfolk suspected human failure too in calculating tides and securing the doors. The activity is still frenzied at this site. Salvage men standing where last night hundreds of survivors had stood in Arctic cold, waiting for rescue. Last night, this small rescue boat, along with many others, spent the whole night searching for the living. Today, the effort is devoted to trying to retrieve the dead. The authorities have long since given up any hope that anyone is still alive out here. The tugs are now toiling to try to prevent this ship from slipping into the main sea lane and taking the remaining bodies with her. Beyond the exposed propellers too, there are dangerous truckloads in the cargo bay, 50 container trucks of cyanide, 50 of inflammable ethylene spirit. The plan now is to use this giant dredger to dig a pit for her to fall upright into, and then, having sorted her cargo, to float her off for scrap. Though she may be got rid of, the serious questions that the disaster of her sinking poses may take far longer to resolve.